Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connections for Life. I'm Ted Pete.
I'm Chad Kuva.
You
We
graduating?
can talk about it later after Joe introduces himself.
I'm Joe Surratt. Are you graduating?
I am not, but Logan is this weekend from high school. I feel really old. He's now turned 18 and graduating all within 2 months. So I feel old, and I think this hat fits best.
It's like the In Living Color hat.
It's awesome.
Remember that little shit?
I do.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so
Congratulations,
just celebrating Logan. That's all.
Congratulations. Moving on to the next chapter in life, huh?
Yeah, the one where I still get to pay for stuff and he still doesn't. Yeah, that's not he's not at that chapter. He's still like, I feel like that's like chapter 30. He's at like chapter 17.
I wish you were my dad.
Yeah, I didn't have any of that.
Neither did I. That's probably why I'm that way.
That's the point. Yeah.
Well, at least you have the opportunity to supply that food.
That is correct. I have the ability to do that, which is more than I could ever ask for. So I'm thankful for that. But I'm super proud of him too. Going to Gilmore kind of changed his life and his path at schooling. He started out there last year. He's been there for 2 years. Started out at a 2.6 in the first semester, and this was the first. He said this is the first semester in his high school career that he'll have all A's, which I thought was pretty impressive. So he'll have like a 3.8 or 3.9.
At least that's a good way to end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and
improvement.
He finished strong, and that's going, as you guys know, if your kids are any good at athletics, they pretty much need to be really good in the classroom too, or else you're not getting anything.
But don't you kind of feel like that kind of goes hand in hand a bit?
Well,
sometimes,
no, but there's situations. I'll tell you, this past week I've been contacted by multiple different college coaches for different players in our program, and the first question after they say, "Hey, this kid is, what are their grades like?" No,
but I mean, I think that for the most part, if you want to excel in sports and you want to be a high level athlete, I'm generalizing here. I think that goes in hand with also wanting to be a good student. I think that's
I agree. I agree with you, but there's still some kids that just don't believe in.
I know that there's always going to be outliers.
Because you got to look at there's certain situations where you've got a kid his entire perspective is the way I'm getting out is this sport, right?
Yeah.
I have to be the alpha at this sport. So what do I need to be able to play the sport? 70, in my classes. Yeah. So that kid puts in that level of effort into that, and then is walking to the gym 3 miles one way at 5 a.m. to put up shots. And then when he goes to get the opportunity to go to the next level, they're like, "Hey, your grades are to be desired." And he's like, "Well, I passed everything."
You know what, though? It also, and I hate to say it this way, but I think it has to do with the sport a lot, because hockey, you don't get that. Do you know why? Because you have people spending thousands and thousands of dollars for people to do it. So there's a lot more support there than you get as somebody playing basketball or playing soccer even. And what do you need to play soccer? A ball and some cleats, really, and some shin guards.
Thousands of dollars.
But it's still hockey is still 5 times that amount. Every year, it's 5 times the amount you can think of for soccer. If soccer's $3,000, it's 5 times the amount.
I don't know. Macy's racking it up.
I'm telling you, man. It's hockey. That's why we don't get the best athletes in hockey.
That is the only sport I ever told my kids no on. Nick asked to play hockey one year, and I go no, and he goes, "Why, Dad?" And I go, "Because you like to try something once and it cost me $7,000."
But it's a lifestyle. Hockey is a lifestyle. And I mean, I'm starting to find out that with Macy, even, and I know this is silly because she's 11 next week, June 2nd. It's a lifestyle. This is these kids are growing up together, and it's a lifestyle. I'm going to New Jersey this week for a tournament for my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Chad, you've been doing that for how many years now? And I've been doing it for how many? It's crazy.
It's funny we're talking about this because I just said to Lindsay, I told Joe this morning. I literally did every time of this year when Zoe ends school and Logan does too. I literally sit down with their calendar and I put a calendar out and I put their training set, everything like that.
Yeah.
So it goes on a calendar that gets right there. My calendar gets put up out there. I looked at it. I'm like, it's kind of funny because Logan has a lot going on still, but Zoe actually has twice as much as Logan going on now. And Lindsay's like, I feel like we're starting over. I go, yeah, but we've been doing this hockey thing for 10 years like that. Yeah. We only have to do it with Zoe for lacrosse for 3. I mean,
I think that
trying to back 9 with us, man.
Yeah.
The hard thing for me, and maybe it's the same for you guys too, but I have 3.
That's tough, man.
And it's tough because it's not fair.
Yeah, no, it's never going to be.
Never
It's not fair. It's not fair to my oldest and my youngest that they have to go away for an entire weekend because their sister has soccer. And it's hard to manage that a little bit because they have things too.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's this juggling routine. Like last week, Macy had a softball tournament in Binghamton. I didn't go. I stayed with Lila and Cal because I was like, they don't want to go do that.
No, they don't want to just go sit there.
No, it's not fun for them. So it's hard to manage a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out.
Even with 2, it's tough sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
But 3, I can imagine, like in the next few years, is going to get really bad.
It's just the rhythm of it. Because
like 2 is at least you can split up and go different ways.
Well, now Cal's getting into the point where she's doing, like, she has gymnastics, and then she also has she just started in the CNY program that Macy's in. So now she has practices in Syracuse. It's just a lot to deal with, but
yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. I think it goes back to what we were just talking about. We can stop beating this horse to death, but as far as like, having the ability to provide your kids with those
100%.
Like, and none of us would ever not do it. Right. Because like we didn't get those opportunities really. I know Ted and I did.
I did a bit more.
But like, I can't imagine telling my mom that I had to go to New Jersey for a soccer tournament when I was 10 years old. She was like, no, you're not. Like, that's
you wouldn't even listen. You wouldn't even have got to the point where you had the opportunity to go to Jersey for soccer. Like that's the difference.
Correct. And
it's no shots on our parents. That has nothing to do with it.
It's just a different time era.
And
and also it's kind of bizarre because like, I mean, I know hockey's far more expensive than any other sport. I realize that, but like, I mean, Macy's, this is thousands of dollars for youth soccer, like thousands of dollars. Like that's not just a play. That's everything that goes along with it. The gas mileage, the food, the hotels, the tournament fees, like everything that goes along with that. And you just, it's nice to be in a position in life to be able to give your kids the opportunity to do that. And I think sometimes we take for granted the fact that not everybody is able to provide their 100%. Children that. And I tell my kids all the time, you live a charmed life. You live a lifestyle that a lot of people will never understand and never have the opportunity for. So you need to appreciate that. And I think that's a huge message in all of this, is that while we give them the opportunity to do these things, and because we work so hard at what we do, I think they need to have the understanding that that's not the normal experience for every child.
I think I'm going to text Logan right now, actually, and remind him.
So Macy texted me today. I forgot to tell you guys. Macy texted me this afternoon. I forgot. She texted me this morning, and she's like, it's a picture of a baseball stadium. I'm like, what? She's her school field trip. They're at a Mets game, and they're the Syracuse Mets. Sorry,
I was like, wow, that's aggressive.
It's the AAA team. So their whole
didn't know that. You didn't know that, Cal?
No, I knew it, but there's a million things going on. So you randomly get a text from your daughter who's supposed to be in school, and she's at a baseball game. You're like, what is going? What day is it? Did you get
taken?
Yeah. So, anyways, but not like
that's funny. What do we? Man, that was a long one. That was fun though to talk about. I mean, those are things that affect probably a lot of people every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Do we want to go to the next segment, or do we want to talk about weekends? What do we want to do?
We kind of did weekends already.
I think we killed the weekend thing.
Yeah,
Logan's graduation party was over the weekend.
BC had soccer tournament.
That was Chad's intro.
Right. I think let's talk about. I was gonna say we wanted to introduce a new segment, right? Which was the jobs postings. Oh, you're gonna go on Gas Fact?
I don't care. I just went to
I think we go to Gas Fact, then we'll do the new segment. Okay.
That's fine.
So
okay.
With that said, this we have our weekly Gas Fact from Joe all the time. But we're doing something a little bit different, and it's brought to us by our friends and members of the Guild of Ancient Supplers, and which Joe and Chad are members of.
That's correct.
Recently
voted in. Joe got in earlier than me. I'm not sure what they had against me, but hey.
Yeah, I had to get in there and loosen some things up for it.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I have two really fast. So my first one is the one that I posted on LinkedIn. Let's just do that. So this is really
hang on. Gas Fact. Sorry, we didn't do it this week.
What percentage of global primary energy consumption comes from natural gas? So of all the energy that we utilize in the world, how much of it is natural gas? Comes from natural gas?
38%.
I was going to say 37.
You want the choices? Because neither of them are that.
No, we guessed already.
Okay. The answer is 24.3.
Seems low.
You have to understand that not every country has natural gas, right? Like just because it's abundant here, it's not abundant in like
Yeah, wherever they don't have natural gas.
Tasmania. I don't know. Hawaii.
Gas producer.
Right? Not that Hawaii is not a country, but I don't know. Whatever. Let's move on. That was a terrible one.
It's much better if you read it on his LinkedIn post.
Yeah, just go to the LinkedIn. It's probably easier for everybody.
How many people voted? 2?
36.
Wow, that's a good number.
Out of 1,000 views.
Oh, well, that's not a good number.
It's not a good number. It's not good odds. You guys gotta start participating.
3.5%.
What are you gonna do? So a couple years ago, I was at a trade show and I picked these up. And this is where we talk about this comes from the supplers. Oops. These are playing cards. Just your standard playing cards, right? Like, can you guys see that?
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh,
And on each one is a gas fact, which is kind of cool. I thought it was an interesting thing. So while you're playing Pinochle, you can also get.
Hang on. Do you know how to play Pinochle?
I used to, yeah.
Ted?
No.
No, I have no idea.
I used to be able to play Pinochle when I was a kid.
Aren't they a different set of cards?
Yes.
So you couldn't even play Pinochle with the support cards.
Euchre.
I have a Pinochle deck right here.
Oh, come on. Do they have gas facts on them?
Pinochle. I told you.
Is that how it's spelled? That's weird.
Yeah.
Do they have gas facts on them too?
The Pinochle cards? No.
Darn.
But no, see, I used to play. I have Pinochle deck.
This video is going to take like 7 million years to offload.
Upload?
No, keep going, Joe.
So anyways, these cards were handed out as a tchotchke instead of a pen or something like that. I thought it was a really cool idea, and I snagged a deck, and I thought it'd be interesting to just go through. So I just want you guys, we'll start with Chad this week. Pick a random card, and we'll read the fact off of it.
7 hearts.
7 of hearts. Should have probably planned this better, so I didn't have to cycle through all the cards.
I thought they were all 7 hearts. The trick.
7 of hearts. Here it is. Got it. Bingo, bango. All right. So this fact. It would take 500 years at the world's largest battery factory in Nevada, which is owned by Tesla, to make 1 day's worth of electricity for the United States.
Wow.
I'll read that one more time.
One more time, yeah.
It would take 500 years at the world's largest battery factory in Nevada at Tesla to make 1 day's worth of electricity for the United States.
That's crazy because I just saw this Twitter video with Elon Musk walking through one of his gigafactories. All right. And he said he was explaining to whoever was recording it how he said we need to have, if we had 800 more of these right here, these gigafactories, the world could be completely self-sustainable on whatever. But I thought, so that's crazy to get that gas back.
Yeah, 500 years to produce the electricity that would take the United States to use for one
day. Wow.
Yeah, crazy. Anyways.
So
that's a cool gas fact. Chad seems stunned. Are you okay?
I am stunned though. Like I want to look up the. Yeah, that's just odd. 500.
We got
maybe they have updated in the last 3 years.
Wait a minute. We have 53 more of them.
Oh, see, now that we won't run out really.
I thought there was only 52 cards in a deck.
2 jokers have them on there too.
That's fun. So there should be 54. Oh,
actually, the jokers have the sources where these came from. So PHMSA and
that's cool.
And, yeah.
No plagiarism.
Oh, that's cool. So the red cards come from the red cards.
You really looked at these a lot, huh?
Interstate Natural Gas Association of America, the Institute of Energy Research, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, PHMSA, right? These were printed in September of 2021.
I think we should get we should try and get some and give them out as a giveaway on the show to somebody who comments or something. Maybe ask if we can get a 10-pack. We have 1 pack. I didn't mean 1 card a person. I meant like a pack of cards.
No, we can have the whole. They can take the whole deck.
No,
I'm sure we can get
it for the next 53.
We can get more of these. I believe this was a previous guest on our show's idea, John Beam. I think this was John's idea.
That's awesome. I like it a lot.
Anyways, moving on.
All right, Teddy.
So our next section of the show is going to be the jobs.
I'm trying to change my background. I don't have a jobs section yet, so I'm going to go with Grateful Dead.
And you're allowed to share the screen if you want to pull it up, Chad.
That's a lot of pressure.
I have it.
Do you?
Yeah, you want to pull it
I
up?
thought you literally in the warm-up said you had.
I did get it, but I wasn't planning. I'd have to. I can do it. It doesn't matter.
Say in the warm up.
Yeah, we were like stretching and stuff. It was cool.
Oh, you mean our pre-recording calisthenics?
Yeah, yeah. Plan of the day. Chad's gonna bring up the job postings.
So we wanted to hit on a spot that kind of reigns home with all of us, which is UPSCO's job opportunities, especially hitting on this week, especially I keep saying especially, which is weird. Yeah, that was strange. The regional sales manager position for the Midwest, which is somewhere probably you could be located around the Chicago area, Minnesota, even. We're looking for somebody. Indiana. But we're looking for somebody that's going to get after it and kind of hunt down the utilities and do what we do. That's all I got.
Contract.
Yeah.
It's basically what Ted and Chad do. We're looking for a regional sales manager. With the gentleman that was there has retired, so we're looking to fill a hole. You can apply on our website at upscoinc.com. You can also find the job posting on indeed.com. Or you can reach out to any of us and we can put you in contact with the right people if you are interested. Obviously we're still here. We love being here. We think it's a great company and we're looking for another teammate to come on board and handle the Midwest. So, that would again be Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, the Dakotas down into probably Missouri, Nebraska, and kind of that region. So that's kind of what we're looking for. But if you're interested, let us know.
Absolutely. We'll hit one of these a week maybe. Or do you want to go right down the list and not really talk about it?
No, we'll just do one a week. I don't think we have to get crazy with it, but
I like that. Sounds good to me. All the rest are Moravia too. I don't know how many people are watching out there, but still worth the shout out.
Why not? You never know.
That is correct. Do we want to talk about our guests this week, guys?
We have a guest.
That's the real question. Like, do we?
Really actually, yeah. It's a good question.
I mean, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel on this one. No, this week we're bringing on our friend Chris Landis from EN Engineering, who was formerly with Clock Spring NRI, and he recently had the displeasure of having to share a booth space near Chad and ourselves. And we got talking to him, and we're finally able to convince him to join us on the show.
I don't know if it would have taken a lot of convincing. He's kind of been a staple around, especially at Morgantown. Since I've worked here, I've stood next to Chris essentially, except when he was at Clock Spring. But I think his background's really cool. It's interesting to take a guy that went to college and was literally an engineer for 15 years, and then thrust him into a sales role with some. I mean, at Clock Spring, it was a little bit of sales and engineering, obviously, with their products. Some were engineered, but then to go on to EN eventually and kind of take the sales role over the engineering degree is pretty interesting. That's not an easy thing to do. Most engineers aren't the greatest salespeople typically, and I give Chris a lot of credit.
Might not be either.
I think he is. I don't want to take away any credit, but I really think he is. But that's not usually how it works. So that's a tough transition for most people.
I got to know Chris through work, through the trade show circuit. We spent a lot of time together on the road. He's grown into a good friend of mine, and somebody that I really respect. So it's nice to have him on the show finally, and we're able to connect. And as Teddy says,
without further ado, welcome to Connections for Life, Chris Landis. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Connections for Life with our friend Chris Landis. How are you today, Chris?
Doing great, Ted. How about yourself?
Well, okay, until I got on here with you.
It was really the other two of us, not Chris.
I feel your pain.
No, it's actually not you, Chris. But if I say something about them, they're going to gang up on me like they always do.
I got your back, bro.
All right.
You're choosing the wrong side of the argument.
100%. I know you want to you think you're making it even and fair, but it's not a good side for you.
Yeah, you're going to need 3 or 4 more people.
You see the pipes on Pete?
Yeah, he's also 6'8".
It just depends on how close you sit to the camera.
It's like the fish thing.
If it was a physical fight, Chris, you're picking the right team. This battle of wits, these two are like they practice and like they're all.
I think you're actually right.
I'm 44. I'm not physically fighting anything or anyone ever again. I'll run. And I know I can run faster than you. That's the only thing I got.
I'm not.
Actually,
can't.
I don't even know if I can run faster than you, but I know I can run faster than Chad.
Yeah, that's that
all I
shouldn't be
need
tough
to
at
do.
all.
Anyways, let's not
He's not
hijack
gonna run.
Chris, what's up, buddy? It's been a while, man. I used to
Not
see
for us.
every-
We saw him 2 weeks ago.
I know,
Yeah.
but I used to see Chris every week for like 4 months straight, every on the trade show circuit. It's been, gosh, it's probably been what, 2 years, man, or more now.
It's been a long time for sure.
You look the same. I feel like I've aged like 10 years.
Oh, he doesn't look
That's
like
a
that.
great
in
break you
person.
got, Chris. I'm so happy for you.
Chris and I used to go running down in Virginia Beach. Remember, buddy?
Yeah, I do remember those days. That was a long time ago, man.
Me, you, and Veshy. Remember?
Well, that's a good
Yeah.
show too. Saw Veshy a couple weeks ago as well. That's
I know.
something
I
we
haven't
have to have
seen
on.
Steve in a long
An
time.
email.
We should get him on too. Anyways, Chris, let's back up and start with you, buddy. How did you get your start into the wonderful industry that we all call home?
I kind of fell into it by dumb luck. I was unemployed. I had worked for an engineering firm for many years and had gotten laid off, and met a gentleman through the church that my family attends, who was on the board of directors in my previous job, and put me in touch with the CEO. And the next thing you know, I'm out selling clock spring.
Yeah.
Which
How long
was
were you with Clock Spring?
Almost 5 years.
And with the engineering company you're with prior to that, was it also in the industry or was it doing something else?
It was a civil consulting firm.
Okay.
So moving to sales and the energy industry was a total shift.
Well, you did that for a long time too. I mean, all I can do is look at your LinkedIn. Almost 15 years, you're a project manager, right? I mean,
Correct.
That's
Yep.
pretty wild. That's
He is 64 years old.
Oh, I thought he was 38.
63.
I know. I only look a day over 62.
I agree. Wow, looking good.
It's that polo, buddy. It really, really pulls it together.
I just want to talk a little bit about what you did on that, because you graduated from Syracuse, which is near our main office, and Joe's probably the college that Joe roots for, if you're going to talk about one.
That's right. Chris, you probably still do too. You're probably a big Orange fan.
He has it in the back of his. He has a flag.
Doesn't mean he's a fan of this of the sports
He
program.
also has that 1987 speaker system. So
Yeah, you know what it's like, Chris? You got to hide your background, because with us, it's like one of those games that you play with, like, fine, where there's the fine things. That's all we do is sit and stare at your background.
It's all good. You can't see the pipeline marker that Dan gave me.
I knew that's where it came from. Zabka.
Oh,
Zabka.
Zabka. Danny Z.
Yeah.
So Chris, Syracuse University, let's talk about that. How'd you end up at Cuse?
I just fell into it. I don't know. I just wanted to get away from home and go.
Where'd you
get an
grow up,
education.
Chris?
Eastern Pennsylvania. But
Where?
I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do when I went to college. So going to
What
school
town in Eastern
gave you lots of
Pennsylvania?
options.
What town?
A little town called Nazareth.
Yeah, I grew up in Allentown. Not real hard to figure out where.
I always forget that.
A little
He
town
does
called
too.
Nazareth. You mean where the raceway used to be? Now,
Right.
Is it still there, or did they get rid of it all the way?
I believe it's dismantled. They haven't run races there in many years. But hometown of Mario Michael Andretti, for those of you that are
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. So you ended up at Cuse.
Yep.
How'd you like Syracuse?
I loved it, man. It was awesome.
It's a good program. Good
My
school.
wife's an alum too, although we didn't know each other there.
You didn't meet in
I know
school?
you.
We'd want to know you there.
That's funny.
And
So,
When
one of
did
my
you
kids
graduate
wants to go there too.
When did you graduate from Syracuse?
Do I
97.
have to say?
Yeah.
I can answer for him on his LinkedIn.
97.
Chad's doing some forensic science over there.
No, this is another one of them interviews where somebody is older than me and I look significantly older than them, and I'm really upset about it.
That's every interview, including Bill Shutt.
You know what? You keep wearing your hat backwards and trying to pretend, though. It's cute.
Including Bill, who was 81.
If
remember?
I could turn my camera off right now, I would, but I can't point that way.
So Chris,
Yeah.
moving out of being a project manager, kind of into the world of clock spring and composites, and then back into the engineering world, but really now on the sales side. How much different is that? Do you design any of the projects anymore? Do you do engineering? No. Okay,
No
thank
way.
gosh, because I
Yes,
was really
thank God
worried.
is right. Absolutely.
So what does your role look like every day? Essentially, what are you chasing down new projects, or?
Absolutely. So when I transitioned from operations into the sales role, the first sales role, it was like, holy crap,
Yeah.
sales? That was worse than the F word. But
I don't think that's a bad word.
Turns out it was fun. I enjoyed it, and haven't looked back. So what do I do now? Yeah, I'm ginning up business. I'm doing a lot of client management, playing golf, making meetings, writing proposals, you name it. Jack of all trades, master of none. But like you said, not doing the actual project execution, which is good. I got people that are a hell of a lot smarter than me that are doing that.
Chris, where's your territory now?
We call it Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, so essentially Washington, Pittsburgh, and everything north and east of that.
So
are you doing a lot of traveling now?
It's ramping back up, fortunately. Yeah, I mean, it was a long 2 years, as you guys all know, especially folks like us who actually like that client interface.
Yeah.
Well, some of us.
Yeah.
I like being home every day.
It
wasn't terrible. I'm not gonna lie.
It was good at first, you know, all the family time, but not seeing the clients and things like that, which is my job. That got old after a while.
Has it changed for you, kind of like us, where it's gone virtual too? It makes it a little bit easier on that side, I assume, or do you find that resistant to change with your clients, especially in your industry?
It's a little bit of both. Yeah, a little bit of both.
Kind of how we are, really, too. So
it's a hybrid. It's more of a hybrid model than it ever was, right?
Yeah, the clients, I think, are happy to get out of their house, whether it be back to the office, have a lunch, go play golf, even have meetings too. You know, think about it. They were stuck in their office just like we were, so they had that cabin fever. Fever. Hey, let's get out of here.
Did you get COVID?
I'm sorry.
Did you get COVID?
Of course.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
Joe held off till like 2 or 3
I was the
weeks
last
ago.
man. I was the last man standing. I just had it last week.
Joe, you really weren't. You were kind of patient 3. You gave it to me in January of 2020.
No, that didn't.
Oh,
neither confirmed nor denied.
Can't confirm
that. I have a confirmed test. I went to New Orleans 2 weeks ago when you guys were all down in Morgantown. I came back with COVID, so that was fun. But anyways, I just think it's funny. I think it's, you know, everybody was so concerned about that and getting it, and you know, we kind of just all have run through all of us, right? Like everybody I talked to has had it, and it's, you know, I think it's awesome that, you know, I'm really bummed that I wasn't able to be in Morgantown with you guys the week that you were there, because that's always such a good show. But I just think one of the things getting back to some normalcy, you know, and all the things that we kind of took for granted, right? We really did. We just assumed that going out and meeting with customers, and that was just life. Like we never even consider having to be, you know, stuck at home for 2 years. And I think that as the time clicked off, we still couldn't imagine it after a year that it was going to be another year. And it's just nice to be able to get back out there and see everybody. And I think you're right that, you know, we've created this hybrid model, but I still think that a much of the value lies in visiting and being face to face and, you know, in front of your customers and vice versa. I think it's important for everybody. So anyways, one thing I want to ask.
Hold on, Joe. I got with your, you know, bringing up Morgantown, Chris and I, our booths, well, Chad as well, our booths were next to each other, and Chris and I.
They always are.
And it. I don't
know why. They always are. I don't know why. Like that, he's always next to us.
I lost a bet.
Wait, we thought we did.
Yeah,
same difference.
So,
same
outcome. Him and I were standing there talking, and we're talking about engineering and stuff like that. And I asked him, you know, if he had anything up in my area, and we ended up talking how one of my utilities, they actually have a project out with them right now and stuff like that. And that leads into the next question, you know, really. So, what's your favorite project you've ever worked on throughout your entire career in the industry?
I don't know if I have one, Ted. The ones I enjoy getting involved with are the oddball ones, the one-offs. You know, I think what we're going to see right now, and this dovetails into the next question you're going to ask in a few minutes in terms of the future, is that now we're getting into the RNG and the hydrogen. So we're seeing some interesting things in that space, and those are the more unique projects that we see now. Yeah, it's great. The day-to-day work is wonderful and finding the next one or the big one, but the unique ones where you actually got to maybe start to think about it a little bit and pull on that engineering background are the ones that I enjoy getting into. We lost that project that you're alluding to, by the way, Ted.
I just want to reference that. That was Teddy's best transition ever, I think. Yeah, I do want to give you a high five, Ted. That was a very good transition. Way to go. Proud of you. Seriously.
I'll give him a high four.
It's like the Girl Scout symbol, isn't it?
I don't know.
I know what's between the lines.
I want to ask Chris that, like, I mean, I think that, you know, you have the projects that kind of stick in your head and things like that. But I just want to really quickly talk about what EN Engineering does. And the reason I bring that up is because I think my perspective of what EN did was really not the full picture. And I remember being in Vegas with a couple of your folks out there, and yep. I sat in on this was years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago. I sat in at the time on what you guys were doing with like drone technology, okay, and the surveying and the mapping. And I was blown away because I didn't really understand what you guys did. So really quickly, for maybe those people that don't know, what are the kind of facets, or what are the you know, the products or areas of focus for EN that you guys really promote and are involved with?
Sure. We have three business units. We have utilities, midstream/transmission, and an automation group. Utilities is pretty self-explanatory: gas and electric utility, distribution on both sides, and essentially everything that you can imagine under that umbrella. And my focus is the gas utilities, so main replacement programs, station, facility, gate stations, reliability, anything you can think of in the gas utility world, corrosion, okay, inspection, construction management, project management, you get the idea.
Sure.
Same in the electric utility space. The midstreamers, again, kind of self-explanatory. Pipeline replacement, new pipelines. We do M&R facilities, gate stations, things like that. And then the automation group, they're a unique group. They're doing the energy space, the utilities and the transmission world, but they're diversified more so. They're doing work in one of their biggest clients is a pet food manufacturer.
Oh, that's neat.
We get into food and beverage applications and things like that. So they're unique people as well.
How many employees do you have there at EN?
That's a good question. So when I started about 4.5 years ago, we were just about to hit the 1,000 employee threshold.
Wow.
We just crossed over 2,500.
Oh my word.
Wow. I didn't realize you guys were that big.
That's a combination of both organic growth and acquisition. We've acquired.
So it's not directly related to your business development role.
No, thanks, Chad.
A little bit. 3 employees. Wow, I guess I didn't realize the size and scope. Are you guys global?
The automation group does some work in Europe, but primarily we're domestic. But we do have offices across the country, so from Southern California to New England and everywhere in between.
Wow, cool.
That is neat.
I didn't realize. I mean, that's massive. I didn't realize there's that many people that work for EN.
You think I think you might be able to get a new stereo.
Shh, that one still works. How's he gonna play all his old
retro?
How's he gonna play all his old high school mixtapes?
Exactly. Thank you. You beat me to it, Joe. Is exactly where I was going.
He's waiting for it to become vintage.
Like you still have
Slow Jams '89,
like a cassette case that pulled out, and you can
see
all over it. Yeah, you definitely have that, don't you?
Yeah, Slow Jams '89, like out there.
Yeah. Summer Mix '94.
You betcha.
All right.
So go ahead, Chad.
The last one on there, Chris, is where do you see in the future this industry going? I mean, you talked a little bit about some of the new projects you have going and things like that, but where do you see it going overall? And you can't call out Mike Choi. Oh,
well, you are going to see, everybody's aware of this move to decarbonize the natural gas industry, and there's going to be movement. Is it going to happen by 2050 when they have picked this arbitrary year, 20 some years down the road? Who knows? But it's not going to be overnight. As we know, there's a lot of assets out there. You can't just flip a switch and say, no more natural gas. It's too plentiful. It's too cheap. It's too clean. It's not going anywhere. I'm not worried about losing my job in the natural gas industry before my time expires.
Yeah. Do you see more of a shift to like hydrogen, like in renewable natural gas? Because I assume you guys probably are working on a lot of those types of things.
Yeah, different utilities these days are in different stages of their green energy development, whether it be hydrogen or RNG. You know, we're seeing a lot of utilities already have RNG supply in their system, so that's a little more mature than the hydrogen space. But the utilities are also they're starting to explore the hydrogen thing in small amounts, but it's going to be a slower walk.
Yeah,
there's a lot of other considerations with that.
A lot of hurdles to jump. Hydrogen is
exactly
a little different, but different animal. I mean, from a pipeline integrity and just a integrity, the system integrity, you got to change a lot of things. Right. You know, one of the big things that we're probably involved in, and you probably are too, is just methane capture, reducing methane leaks, you know, mitigation, things like that. I'm sure you guys probably are heavily involved in that in some space. So, you know, I think that for hydrogen to work, I think we got to kind of handle that before we can, you know, move into the next, you know, energy source for America. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I sometimes wonder, and we've talked about this in the past, if like there's an administration change, does it all kind of shift back the other way? And I think, you know, that's kind of where we get stuck with this kind of ebb and flow of what we're doing and what we're kind of backing on what we're doing. I just know that there's, as you had just said, there's natural gas isn't going away.
Right.
You know, as much as people think that we need to decarbonize, which we do, and we need to get better and more effective at the things that we do, and I think we all agree with that. Our jobs, I think, for the next 30 years are probably pretty safe. So, at least mine is. I don't know about you, but
well, if you're going to do this 30 years, you're a lot more dedicated than me, because I don't want to be doing this in the 30 years.
But you're 63.
Exactly.
I mean, you're a couple years away from retirement.
I said exactly.
If only.
Anyways, well, I just want to say thanks, buddy. It's always good seeing you. I always have a ball when we hang out. I know that we're gonna both be at the East. What is it called? What is it? The
Energy Association of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we're gonna be at that show in a couple of weeks, so I'll look forward to getting with you there, and you know, maybe
next week.
Yeah, next week. Thanks for telling me.
Don't be there with bells on.
I gotta make some. Hold on, I gotta make some calls after this. I gotta change some things around. So next week it'll be good to see you. It'll be good to get back out on the road, and I'm looking forward to it.
For sure. Thanks for having me, guys. I just wonder why it took 2 years to get me on here.
99 episodes.
You could. He could be. What number are you?
He could be the 100th episode.
You really could. So you don't have much.
What does that get me? Does it get me like free beer or something?
It'll get you.
I'll give you drink tickets.
Get you dinner at the Appalachian Corrosion Short
No,
Course.
you won't.
You can come to our hospitality suite.
Okay.
Okay.
Sale price.
What episode is it? Do you know, Chad?
I'm looking. Calm down. I think it's 90. This will be 99, I believe.
That's what I just said.
You're
one. Yell at me, sir.
See what I deal with, Chris?
He listens like my kids.
It's rude.
You get right. He's right every now and again, and he wants some type of medal or achievement.
No, maybe it's 98.
It's 98. It's even worse. It's getting worse. Now you're just not even anything cool.
Total random number.
Yeah.
I can't remember like yesterday most of the time. So
that's true. Anyways, Chris, we'll let you get back at it, man. As I said, good seeing you as always. Thanks for being on the show, and looking forward to seeing you in person next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care.
I caught him by surprise, folks. Chris, thank you for joining us on the show. Look at Chad's face.
Underwater. I'm just trying to keep my breath.
If everybody didn't notice, Teddy slurred his name in the intro.
That's because I've been day drinking since about 8.
Chris Landis.
Why do I not find that impossible to believe?
Probable.
That's not true. I'd never do anything like that.
Oh, we recorded at 8 o'clock at night, right, guys?
Yes.
It was awesome having Chris on. It's really long overdue after this many episodes, especially
really,
how good a relationship we have.
Well, Chris was kind of like, thanks for finally asking me, guys. I was starting to feel a little sort of way.
And then we hoped it was the 100th episode. It was only 98.
So
yeah.
I think the crazy thing is that like, it's not done intentionally. Like I hate to say this, we just have met and got to know so many people that we made it 98 episodes before we were like, oh my gosh, we haven't brought Chris on. Like,
And it took seeing him in person to really make me even think about it.
Right, drive that home a little bit. So I don't know. I awesome, catching up with them. Pretty cool to learn about what they do. I cannot believe they have 2,500.
It's crazy. I one thing I wrote down that I want to do is revisit. I think I want to revisit an episode with Choi if we can to talk about the renewable stuff he's doing. I just think that would be pretty.
Yeah, that'd be wicked. I'd love to do that.
I'm going to send him an email.
So speaking of which, the 100th episode is coming up. We have 2.
Oh, this is the part where we can't say no.
Well, you can say no. You're not. I'm not going to.
It's just going to be embarrassing.
No, I thought one of the things that we could do is that for the 100th episode, maybe we could reach out to like 3 of our favorite guests each. And then we could just do like 5-minute quick follow-up interviews, like what's happened since you've been on the show. And we'll just maybe do like a little bit of a hodgepodge.
That's a good idea.
Be kind of cool, right? And I don't want to alienate anybody and say you were my favorite or you weren't my favorite. But
that has nothing to do with it.
I think there's just some people that we really connected with individually and also as a group. And I thought maybe if we could just jot 3 people down and then circle back and bring them on the show, if we could coordinate that, that would be awesome. I don't know if you guys want to do that or not, but
yeah, we can do it.
It's going to be kind of logistically difficult. We're going to have to put that together and record all in the same day, but
sounds like too much work for me.
I'll probably just end up doing it.
I'm really having my toughest time is trying to figure out my favorite 3 people. I've already started to think about it.
I think I can name mine.
Me too.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Teddy.
Pajak.
Yeah.
McElroy and Darden.
Okay.
Those are really heavy swingers.
I know.
I
don't know if they do that in the personal life chat, but you can't make that comment.
Who would I be? Joe, you should go next.
Heavy hitters is the word you were looking for.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it was probably bad. I was like, what I said? I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot what I even said.
Not that.
Sorry.
My turn.
Yeah, Joe.
I want to bring on Wyman.
Yep, Eben.
I loved talking to Eben.
Oh, Eben's great.
I'd like to bring back Dino.
Yeah, Dino was fun.
Yeah, I think Dino would be good. And my third was going to be Dan, but you said it, so I don't have a third yet. I'm trying to go through the Rolodex of people, but Darden's good. I was also thinking about Darden. Maybe Stuart Salters. I'd like to get Stuart back on.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck. We're gonna have to wait on my 3.
Yeah, it's like there's 0 chance. You guys put me on the spot. This is not happening.
Well, I hope that when you guys gave me the 3, I would come back with it and know like
you said Danny paid. Oh, Darden.
Yeah, Rob Darden, Dan Pajak, Chip McElroy.
I got you. And I would really like to get Chris Choi to come back on and talk about the renewables.
Mike Choi, you mean Chris Choi?
What'd I say?
Chris. You just merged Landis and Choi together.
No, I didn't. This is funny, you guys. It's a little Freudian slip. I went to high school with a kid whose name was Chris Choi.
I'm gonna need a yearbook photo for authentication.
He played hockey at Harvard.
All right, we're gonna Google that.
I think I know who that is.
Yeah, Google it.
Now I'm just looking at all our episodes and trying to pull it together, and I'm just falling apart over here. Who's got storytellers this week?
I do. So this is kind of a funny story that goes along with Olivar's mentor and one of the owners of Upsco and just a great guy who just mentioned Dan Pajak. So when I was in the process of getting hired by Upsco, I'd gone through the interviews and everything, and I got to the position where they'd offered me the job. So my boss at the time, Norm, calls me and says, "Hey, congratulations." This was a Wednesday. He calls me and says, "Congratulations. We'd like to offer you the position." This, that. I'm like, "Perfect. I'll give my 2-week notice on Monday. I'm off the next couple of days from my current job, and I'll do that." And he goes, "Well, that's kind of one of the reasons I'm calling as well. Is the owner would like to have you to lunch tomorrow with a couple people that are going to be your customers." And I'm like, okay, I'm not available though. I can't, I'm saying no to the owner before I even start the job. So he was like, "All right, it's okay. Listen, it would have been a really, really long lunch anyway." Okay. He goes, you would have lost your whole day. I'm like, okay. So my Thursday goes by. It's 8:00 at night on Thursday. And I get a phone call. And it's, hello, Ted, this is Dan Paycheck with UPSCO. The meeting that I had today was postponed to tomorrow, and I wanted to see if you were able to attend. And I'm like, yes. What are you gonna say? Like, yeah, I'll be there. So I canceled all of the plans that I had for the next day, and make plans to meet at this restaurant down in Binghamton, New York. And we end up, and I didn't know who these players were at the time, but it was the director of all gas for Avangrid, right? The president and the vice president of Corning Natural Gas, a former a member of the Public Utilities Commission.
So you didn't screw up that bad then.
Yeah.
Still hiring him.
Like, oh boy. So he's like, all right, we'll meet at 11. We'll have lunch for 2 hours. All right. We'll walk everyone out the door, and then we're gonna go back in for coffee and talk about the position. And I'm like,
how many White Claws did you have?
None. This was lunch. I'm like, okay.
Exactly. That's exactly why I asked.
I know. So this isn't Morgantown, Chad.
Hey, everybody has a role.
So we go to we get there. I get there, 15 minutes early, and all of a sudden I get a text at your 6. And now you all know I ran a veterans organization called Got Your 6 in reference to 6 p.m. and having your back and whatnot. And I had a sticker on the back of my truck that said it at that time. And Danny had texted me. He was at my 6. So a little weird at first. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what to do. So we go in, we have the lunch and meet these people. We walk them out. We go back in. And then we sit down, we order some coffee. He pulls out our core value sheet. And he's like, I want you to peruse this, man, and then pick which one's the most important to you. And all that.
Such a Dan thing.
Yo, it's such a Danny thing. So then
I would have never made it.
I'd be like, I'll get back to you in a week. I'll say,
yeah. So it's 1:30. By the time I'm done reading this and everything, we've walked people out. We talk. It's now 4. All right, we're in there till 4. My wife's calling me. I'm like ignoring her calls. She's like,
that's really responsible.
Yeah. I finally get outside. It's like 4:30. I've been there since 11 a.m. We could have had 2 meals inside. And Norm's calling me, and I'm like ignoring Norm's calls. And I'll never forget. I get in the truck.
We were just trying to make sure you're still alive.
Well, I start driving away, and Norm calls me, and he's like, "What happened, man? What's going on?" And I said,
I don't remember.
I go, "We just finished lunch." And he goes, "It is 4:30." And I go, "I know."
He said it was going to be long.
And he goes, "Well, how did it go?" And I go, "I'm either going to have the job still or not. I'm really glad I haven't given my 2-week notice yet. Call me Monday and tell me if I should do that still." So that's
it worked out.
I'm here for 4 years later. I'm still with the company. I still love it.
And if it doesn't, we're hiring for a manufacturing equipment and facility manager. That's just a plug to our thing in the first half. Sorry, it's still up on my screen.
If you're interested. So great company to work for. It was just a really cool introduction to Dan. I remember walking out of the meeting, going home and talking to my wife, going, man, I really like that guy. Like I could really enjoy working for an organization with him as like the head of it. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. Good storyteller. I like that.
Yeah. When I started at UPSCO, I started here. I didn't even meet Dan for like the first 3 weeks because he was like on vacation.
I'll tell him that'll be my next storyteller. Is how I ended up here.
We're still trying to figure that out.
I know.
Chad's still trying to figure out why he hasn't had a paycheck in 6 years.
I don't know. I have a really nice swing line though.
Yeah.
Is it red?
No, I wish it was.
I
wish it was.
Wow. Staplers. We all have staplers. Where's yours?
When was the last time you stapled something is the question. Oh.
When was the last time I stapled something?
No, Joe. Like
7 years ago.
I did it. I literally did it yesterday. The calendar.
Cal uses it all the time. I don't know. I haven't used it.
Yeah, I use mine constantly. So, all right, now let's go on to our next section. Now that we're
have a next section. What is the next section?
The news.
There's too many sections.
Oh, I can't do the news today. I'm tired now.
We'll skip news.
We're skipping.
We talked for a long time.
We have. Listen, I won't be able to leave because my computer is going to take 7 years to offload this to the cloud.
It's upload.
I like saying offload because I saw that it bothered you, and now I'm going to keep doing it.
It doesn't bother me. It's just ridiculous. It's not the right word. Like,
What are you saying? Upple word?
If I just randomly make up words to fill space, it doesn't mean that it doesn't bother me. It's just incorrect.
I'm offloading it off my computer. So
I'm going to offload you of the show.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Hey, I just want to say last thing before we go. I really like your shirt. You were at EWN Con. Maybe we can talk about it next week. Give us a little snapshot of what you did down there. But wicked shirt, Jim and James. If you're watching this, you're still watching it. I want one of those.
Hat, sure. I'm EWN'd out.
I don't really care about the hat. I just like the shirt.
We talked for 12 minutes about elite sports and parenting it for the first 12 minutes. So I don't think anybody got past that.
Yeah, no one's ever watching this again. Maybe Landis' wife is watching still.
Either way, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And the twins.